sense of conflict arises and you have a vested interest. And again, that's why stories work. And again, I have a thing where I often say to clients, they say, okay, we do stories. And I'll say, show me them on your website or whatever. And I will say, those aren't stories, those are case studies.
Mm.
And a case study is somebody came to us, we did this, we were brilliant, huzzah. That's not a story. You need conflict, you need characters.
Mm.
For me, the reason why I love, that quote so much is it sort of exemplifies, it illustrates that story and the power of story so well. I do have one other expression, though, since you asked, which goes back to your point about distinctiveness. Because again, as somebody that worked in ad agencies, we're always looking for things that stand out, to saliency.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming some of your audience are going to be bilingue, going to be francophone, I hope.
Possibly, yes.
Possibly. So sauter in French means to jump. Salire in Italian. Saltar in Spanish. They come from a Latin word meaning to jump. Salience, which we use a lot in advertising and marketing. Salience or saliency just means what jumps out. And again, I always feel slightly embarrassed that I have to say this to entrepreneurs, startups, whoever. Your first job is to stand out. If you don't stand out, everything else you're doing is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You're going to, and this is the expression that I've sort of coined. I don't think I squeezed it into the TEDx. So again, this is an example of serendipity, of insight. So I was typing a client's speech, writing up a speech for a client a few years ago. I was talking about the brain. I was talking about attention span. So any of you who are listening, if you look on your keyboard now, usual Western keyboard, the letter N is next to the letter M. So I accidentally typed attention spam with an M. Yeah. And I thought, I quite like that. So that's become my go-to expression now, which is your job in any communication or any company or any brand is to evade attention span. Because we like to think that everything we say goes into our audience's attention inbox, if you like. So I'm hoping you're listening to me, hoping everyone else listening to this podcast is paying attention to what I'm saying. But most of it, and no one knows, but it might be 80 or 90%, will go into what I now call attention span. So that's become my little sort of soundbite as a way of saying to people, whatever you're doing, your first job, forget the benefit or the message. How do you avoid going into your audience's attention span? So that's become, again, a little sort of mini mantra, if you like.
I love that. I'm going to take that with me for sure. Keep that in the toolbox. Thank you for that, Taz. That was great. Lots of little tidbits for sure being shared, and I'm sure we could talk forever. But in the respective time, I want to give you a couple opportunities. You've touched on your work, your books a little bit. Could you just share a little bit? Who are these books for? I'm sure there's different audiences for each book, but in general, who are you writing these books for?
The first answer is me. No, I think it's true. I mean, a lot of
That's
fiction.
fair. Yeah, absolutely.
I write what I think interests me, and my publisher, who's stuck with me for 10 years, bless him, shout out to Martin Liu, has ticked off and said, yep to all the books. Except one. I want to write a spoof business book, Andrea. And he's not sure.
Oh, he's on the fence.
I think he's not sure that people will know it's a spoof. So it will be called something like, the top 10 steps on the 15 ways of getting to the peak of your journey, some sort of nonsense like that.